Mike Bohn joined now by Ali Abdelaziz, manager for Dominance MMA, who is celebrating an extremely busy time going into 2025. Ali, man, you could not be have more going on right now, right? I think you were preparing for the first pay-per-view of the year. 9 fighters on the card, you said?
Yeah, I believe it's 9 guys on there. Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy, man. So that like a record in one night? How do you plan on handling something like that? Because that
I
imagine
think it's a record because I think everybody on the pay per view is my guys except one, and actually Saudi Arabia everybody on the pay per view except one, and
Mhm.
I'm just grateful, man, to work with so many great athletes and just be part of the system.
Yeah, and I see you out there. It seems like you're having a lot of fun with like Islam and Khabib and Umar and all the guys. They're doing their training camps in Las Vegas for UFC 311. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess why did they decide to do that? Obviously, in California, AKA is out there. Why did they feel like this was a better fit for them?
I think it's just a little bit different. Islam really like the PI, all the things that PI provide, like physical therapies and dietitians, and I'm here too. And I think they're my brothers, and Habib kind of wanted to go to San Jose, but after that, everyone decide they're gonna be here in Vegas, and Coach Javier Mendez is here, and all the Coach Muhammad, and of course Coach Habib is here, and the camp is going extremely well. Everybody looking like they can fight next week, honestly.
That's great. And yeah, it's only a few weeks away now. What I guess is the plan for fight night, right? At 311, like having two guys in title fights back to back for like the corner yourself. How's everyone planning on handling that? Because I know Khabib has said it's a big night for him, but that can be a lot. I can only imagine.
For me, it's easy. I'm the manager. I just sit and watch the fight. But for the coaches, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. But Habib have a lot of guys in his team who can be in the back helping Umar, Coach Muhammad, Coach Islam Mamadov, many other guys. They can be in the back, and it's just gonna be a great night, man. Islam Makhachev, honestly, I never see him this good. Like he is so good right now. It's kind of mind-boggling. And Omar, he's been good for a long time. Just he didn't have the opportunity to fight any of these guys in the top 10. Now he fought Corey Sanhagen, and everybody know how good he is. And you have Tagirs also fighting. He's part of this team. And the fight I'm looking forward the most to Sergey Spivak and Almeida. I think it is a very intriguing fight. Every fight on the card, I think this is stacked cards from top to bottom. One of the best pay-per-view I see in a long time. Habib, man, is such a mastermind. He's make these guys work so hard. And one of the things about Habib, he know when to push, when to stop. He know how to build. And now in his gym, you have UFC champion at 155, PFL champion at 155. Bellator champion at 155, UAE champion at 155. It's crazy, And you have Omar. There's no doubt in my mind Omar will be a champion at 135 pounds, and I believe Omar going to be a champion for a long time. And I think Omar, he's the only guy can really challenge Habib's record. He can retire undefeated, 29-0 or 30-0. This is his record. And of course, he have a tough opponent, but I believe Omar is better everywhere.
Yeah, and can we talk a little bit about him getting this title shot, right? Like, I know for a long time it's kind of a similar path to what Khabib and Islam had to go through, right? Like, there was some injury stuff, he got through that, and then it was seemingly difficult to just get him the fights that he was able to prove how good he was in, right? Like, once we see those fights, they were able to show it, and they got title shots, maybe like off top 10 wins and things like that. But has it been difficult to kind of get him maybe the traditional path to a title shot that people think beating multiple top 10 guys?
Listen, I think like Sean Shelby and Hunter and Dana, they was tired of guys saying, "Hey, we're not gonna. Nobody above him want to speak with him, fight with him." And huge credit to Corey Sanhagen. He just said, "You know what? I'm gonna fight this boogeyman," and he fought him. But if Corey Sanhagen did not fight him, nobody wanted to fight him. And Dana White and Hunter and Sean would be like, "You know what? Nobody want to fight these guys. I'm sure they take care of Corey Sanhagen. Corey Sanhagen is a stud. He went to Abu Dhabi and fought Umar. Now, we all realize how good Umar is, right? And I think Umar one of the best fighters I've ever seen. He is so good everywhere, man, and he's so humble and so nice. And he was offered Merab in Madison Square Garden. He said yes. He was offered Merab in December. He said yes. He was offered December 14. The Chinese guy, I forgot his name. Sangidang. He said yes. He was offered in January. Sangidang. He said yes. And after that, UFC comes said, hey, Merab December 18 and January 18, and he said yes. You know, he's been saying yes to everybody. He was willing to fight, ranked, not ranked. He just wanted to fight. He said, my goal is 29-0. This is his goal, you know. And the camp has just been so great, man. And you know, and I really get to see how great Khabib is, and you know, work with other coaches like Javier Mendez, boxing coach. He let people do their things. And you have to understand, Khabib didn't start sparring his first UFC fight. He never sparred before his first UFC fight. You know,
it's crazy.
It is crazy. He did kickboxing, he did sambo, he did jiu-jitsu, he did judo, he did grappling. But Khabib, he did not spar his first UFC fight. And this guy has such great knowledge from his father, from Javier Mendez, from all these people. Now, every time I see Khabib in training, he reminds me of his father. You know, his father was a lot nicer than him. He's not as nice as his father. I can tell you that. He make these guys, sometimes these guys come to me, hey, can you tell him to take it easy a little bit?
Right. And
I said, hey, brother. He's like, hey, leave me alone. You're not the coach. You're assistant coach. Get out of here. Or you can go back in line. And it's good, man. Listen, the guy leave his family, leave his businesses, he's not making money after this. He's not looking for glory. He's not looking for prop. He's just helping his friend who been part of him become a champion. And he said, I owe this guy this.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how much he still cares, and I still think Khabib, even after all he's being retired now, is one of the most significant people like in the sport. I did a podcast with Daniel Cormier the other day talking about that. It's the way he's guiding these guys to the champions. You see the videos he's putting out with Demetrius Johnson; they're getting millions of views and things like that. So he's
great. Like today, Bilal said, he come and he whip everybody. Like he truly whip everybody. Nobody even get a position on this guy. He's an absolute beast. He's an absolute beast. He can be a champion right now, even at light heavyweight, if he really want to, middleweight if he want to, welterweight if he want to. But he don't want glory for himself. He don't want to do interviews. He don't want to talk to media. He just wants these guys to get all the shine. But when you rub shoulder with him, you always get shine with Khabib, you know. Listen, it's been great camp. UFC's been amazing, giving us the PI to ourselves. They've been just awesome, you know. And I'm really looking forward to really UFC January 18th. It's going to be a special night. I believe so, you know.
For sure. And just so last thing on kind of Umar and Merab, can you clarify how this fight did come together? Because you mentioned all those dates, and then when Dana White announced the fight, he was like, Merab stormed into my office and demanded we make the fight on this date. And then I think like Aljamain Sterling has kind of alluded to that maybe Merab was pushed into the fight a little bit. So what's the true story? Did Merab demand this fight for this date?
Listen, Dana White is the greatest promoter on the planet, right?
Yeah.
Two things. I don't agree with Dana. Islam Makhachev is the pound for pound greatest fighter on the planet.
I agree with you on that as well.
It's not even close. It's not even close. Especially Islam has become this. I'm watching the sport. I was like, who is this guy? You understand? Obviously, Merab did not want this fight. He didn't think Umar deserved it. I think Merab just said, like, you know what? Everybody's pressure. UFC's pressuring him. Media's pressuring him. Fan is pressuring him. And he's a man. And sometimes you have to defend your turf. His turf is his title. He was pushed into this fight. He did not want this fight. He didn't think Umar deserved this fight. He stormed into the thing. Listen, at the end of the day, he was going to fight Umar regardless. There was nobody else. Yeah. Fight him now, March, April, May. He just maybe said, you know what, this is what I want to do right now. I want to shut everybody up, and I'm gonna fight Umar. And Merab is tough. He's a very tough guy. It's a very tough fight. He's on a 10-fight winning streak for a reason, but I believe Umar is gonna beat him everywhere.
Yeah, can't wait for that one. And as far as Islam, who you said looks just on a different level right now, I mean, I know he has kind of admitted that he maybe overlooked Arman in their first fight because it was short notice and he didn't really know him that well. Do you feel like he's wanting to kind of prove a point here because that was, a great fight back then? It was more competitive than a lot of other of Islam's fights. So is he trying to show that they're maybe not as close anymore as that first fight showed?
Listen, he have a situation in the first fight. I'm not gonna make excuse for him. Arman is an absolutely beast. He's very tough. But I think Arman will be a champion, but I don't think it's now. It's not his time. He's young, I don't think any man from 155 pounds to 185 pounds can beat Islam Makhachev. It doesn't exist. I believe 155, 170, 185, I think Islam can beat anybody on any given day. This is what I believe in because what he showed me was the development, was the improvement,
Yeah.
I think Islam will beat Alex Pereira at 205. I do. I swear everything Allah. I think Islam Makhachev will beat Alex Pereira.
You don't think he's too short for 205?
He's just gonna take him down and finish him, submit him.
Yeah, I mean the style matchup is, you would think, very favorable, but
his style. But I think Alex Pereira can knock out anybody on the planet if he touch you. But I think Islam Makhachev is this good. He is this good. But it's a fight. Anything can happen per fight. But I'm talking about skills for skills.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best fighter, most complete fighter we ever seen. It's not Demetrius Johnson. It's nobody. It's Islam Makhachev. Right now, Islam Makhachev is the man.
Yeah, and if he wins this fight, I mean, I know we're talking about moving up to 205. Maybe that's a little bit of a joke, in terms of being realistic. But
sure.
I asked Dana when we were in Abu Dhabi, I think, would you be interested in him moving up? Because he always says the thing about John Jones, he went up to the second division and got the title. That's what puts him so high on Dana's pound for pound list. But I know Bilal is the champion there. And, there's that situation with them being training partners and all that stuff. So how is this all going to shake out? How does Islam get that second belt with Bilal being the champion at 170?
Listen, Arman is a long task. I never get disrespect someone like Arman and speak about the future, but Islam could do whatever he wants. Of course, Bilal is their friend. I don't think they will ever fight, But at the end of the day, Bilal have a fight, Islam have a fight, and we're going to reassess. But if anybody who deserves to go up to fight for the belt is Islam Makhachev. It's nobody else.
Agreed. Yeah, no. I mean, I hope we can figure out a way to make this happen. I know there's been comments. Javier Mendez said the other day he feels he could go to 185 and fight Trickus and those guys.
Easy. He's an absolute. Listen, we have to give his training partners days off from training for them to be ready for sparring day. Seriously, we have to give guys. We have to help guys emotionally to get for him to spar. Like I grappled with him the other day, and I was like, "What the hell I'm doing?" And I can hold my gun against anybody in grappling, somebody my size. But I felt like I was a little kid playing with a bear. This is how I felt like, and I was like, "There's no sense for me even train with this guy ever again," Yeah. In a way, I felt bad because I'm a man, but in reality, I felt so confident how good this man is. I'm telling you, Islam Makhachev. He might be one of the greatest fighters I have ever seen. A man finished 7 of his last 8 opponents.
Yeah.
He beat the pound for pound number 1 ring, the pound for pound number 2 ring. The caliber of fighter he beat him. It's not like who's John Jones beating. And there's no disrespect John Jones. He's amazing, right? But he's beating Cyril Gane, who's can't wrestle. He beat Stipe, who was a grandfather. He's old, he's a legend, of course. But in a way, Islam Makhachev didn't go split decision with Thiago
Santos.
Santos. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen. He smashed people's faces. You know, he make them doesn't look like they even there. They belong in there. You know, but we're gonna see. January 18, one more for Islam Makhachev, and I think it's gonna make it look easy.
Yeah, and I mean the way things are going for him, he's getting real close to that all-time winning streak that Anderson Silva has at 16, and if he can pass that, that's just one thing that I think is one of the most unbreakable records in the UFC. So that would be tremendous if he gets a couple more here and passes that, and I imagine you have confidence he will.
The way he looks right now, it's going to be very hard not to break every record the UFC has. Because Islam Makhachev is not talking about retirement. He's not talking about my body hurt. He's in his prime right now. Right now, he's the best I ever seen him.
Yeah.
He can listen. He brought an Olympic silver medalist, Kadi. If he wrestled with him, the way he wrestled, I go to the Olympics and I see the same level, he'll go to the Olympic game and have a medal. He wrestled with him for 25 minutes straight. And after that, hit mitts. With a guy who's an Olympic silver medalist, right?
Yep.
You know, you tell me anyone can do this today in MMA. Nobody.
Yeah, that's very impressive. I mean,
Yes.
we can't wait to see him back. So that's going to be great. UFC 311. Before I let you go, Ali, I just wanted to talk about a few other of your clients here. You mentioned Bilal Muhammad came and trained, right? Just how's he doing? I know he's been cleared to go back to training with after the foot injury and everything. Is he close to maybe looking at a date? I know there's Ramadan and everything. So how's that going to work out?
I think you fight in May. This is what we're looking at. I think Tatiana Soares is going to be the new strawweight champion of the world, 2025. I think Kayla Harrison is going to be bantamweight champion of the world. I think Magomed Ankalaev will be the light heavyweight champion of the world. And I think if they let Movsar get some fight up there, he can be a champion too in 2025.
Okay, so yeah, no, go ahead.
It's a very interesting year for me. Very interesting for me. 2 champion, other 5 people, my 5 for title. It's a very interesting year for me.
Yeah, very. And yeah, you touched on a lot of the people I was going to ask about. 2 follow-ups there. The thing with, Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev, Alex tweeted the other day saying, not going to be Ankalaev, alluding that might not be his next fight. Is he just playing games here? Are you fairly confident that's the fight we get? What's going on with that?
Alex Pereira can say whatever he wants, man. The guy is such a killer. He fought 3 fights in 167 days, Who I am to say he cannot say whatever he wants. He can say whatever he wants. He's having fun. Ankalaev having fun with him. But the only thing won't matter. Him and Ankalaev will be locked in a cage. And I think this is one of the most intriguing fight. Because Ankalaev, what he told me, he said, I'm not wrestling with this guy. I'm going to show everybody why if Izzy can knock this guy out, he said, Izzy cannot even wash my boot in striking. I'm going to knock Alex Pereira out, and I'll get the respect I've been deserving for a long time. And I believe it's a long task to strike with this guy and knock him out, but I believe Ankalaev can do it.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Listen, Alex Pereira fighting Magomed Ankalaev next. It's the UFC is, of course, everything can be maneuvered, get delayed like Khabib and Islam, Movsar, but the UFC the best fight for the best. It's the only promotion in the world. I can tell you this. If you keep winning, you get to fight for a title and you become a champion. There's not too much politics in the UFC.
Yeah, absolutely.
UFC is you can fight 3 times a year, and if you win enough, you can fight for a title. As long as you keep winning, you'll get there.
Yeah, and the road is longer for some than others, but eventually, if you keep doing that, it's gonna come your way. But I know it's not all equal for all people, but I completely understand what you're saying.
But Khabib take him a long time. He was retired as a champion. Islam take him a long time. He's a champion. Now Bilal take him a long time. He's still a champion. Yep. Umar, 4 or 5 fights, he take a different role. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah. What about Henry Cejudo? Is he going to go back to flyweight? People say he's maybe the only interesting fight for Pantoja out there right now.
No. Henry Cejudo is probably going to fight probably in February or March. He's getting ready right now I don't want to announce a fight because it's not my job as a promoter, but he's going to fight one of the top bantamweight ranked guys.
Okay, interesting. And
you can take a guess.
Ooh, gosh. I don't know who's available right now. I don't want to put you on the spot. Is it? I heard of some other. Okay, let me pull it up here real quick.
No, I say if you're mine. I don't say you can Google.
Okay. Is it Corey Sandhagen?
Nope. You get one shot. You missed it.
Okay, that was my only shot. All right, we'll see what happens with that then. Kayla Harrison, you feel confident? Yeah, like we're gonna get that fight with her and Pena.
This is what I was being told. If Juliana Pena, if she's not ready to fight Kayla because she might have some health problem, it's gonna be an interim title. This is 100%. This is what's gonna happen, and the UFC is just not gonna hold the division because somebody don't want to fight or injured. If you're out more than 8-9 months, UFC we should make an interim title, and I love that. I don't think any division should be held because someone who is injured or if you a champion defend your title a lot, I think you get this courtesy. But if you just become a champion and want to take a year off, I don't think you should get this courtesy.
Right. So would they go back to Raquel Pennington, I assume, for that?
I think 100%. This is what she deserved. But I'm not the matchmaker. It's a guy from Houston, Texas, named Mick Manor. He does that. It's his job.
Yeah, for sure. And last thing, okay, Ali, before I want to let you go, you had that tweet the other day just before Christmas Day kind of saying your hope for 2025 was, to have more successful promotions and all that thing. And I know there's a lot of like drama with PFL and Bellator and stuff right now. Can you kind of just give me your opinion on like the state of things and expand on that tweet a little bit? Like how can, I guess, maybe the promoters, especially on that side of the fence, do things better next year? How can, MMA on that front improve as a whole?
I have almost 4 Bellator champion, 3 PFL champion, and I think I got almost 40% of that roster, or 30, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want these guys to succeed, 100%. 100%. I think when they acquired Bellator, it was a lot. A lot of contract, a lot of money. I think PFL maybe it was better not acquiring Bellator, but also if they did acquire Bellator, what happened to all these guys, right?
Well, they would have gone under, right?
We don't know. We don't know if Viacom could have honored that contract or kept it going for a little bit. But I think them acquiring Bellator is slow things down for them. But also, I want to see them succeed. I don't want to see PFL go under because if they go under, you only have the UFC and become like the NFL. There's nobody else. Not because the UFC is just been around for. They didn't make them go under. They have the same television deal. They have the same, not the same money probably from TV, but they have same platform, right? It's their job to make it more marketable. But also, fighters, all they have is time. Guy like Patrick Mix cannot fight 1 time a year. You understand?
Yeah.
Pico's supposed to fight Pitbull in December, but Rising got canceled. Pico now contract run out. Pico right now is a free agent, right? Uh-huh. And I'm gonna do everything I can to help these guys become successful, but also I'm gonna do everything that I can to make sure my fight stay regularly competing and have fights. Because if they don't have fights, they cannot buy that time back. My fighter will come before anybody. I don't care if UFC, Bellator, UFC, what's the best for them? They'll come before anybody. But also, I'm not okay with Corey Anderson fighting once a year. I'm not okay with Patrick Mix fight once a year. But I understand they took out a whole bunch of promotion and they're supposed to have mini shows and show got canceled. I'm not inside to tell you what happened, but also is a responsibility of the promotion to give fighters, especially champions, fights. Mm-hmm. We can work together and make it better, 100%. But I think things have to be fair for everyone. You understand? Maybe they're going to remodel some things and listen, me, other manager want them to succeed. I was talking to some other managers today. We all want them to succeed. But in reality, it has to be fair for everyone. guys have to fight at least 2 times a year, 3 times a year, and that's it. But we want the PFL to be around forever.
Yeah.
But this is what's going on. I know people frustrated a little bit, and you cannot blame Pitbull or Patrick Mix or Corey or Pico didn't say nothing because he's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
He can shop here very soon when it's, after 90 days, right?
Okay.
And maybe before the 90 days, PFL make him a deal he cannot refuse. I don't know.
Right.
But I think everyone is a very, very critical time for MMA right now, and it's very scary. Because if they go away, what happened?
No, it's always been good for the sport to have a strong number two, going from Pride to Strikeforce to
But like I said, it has to be fair for everyone.
Yeah.
Every contract has to favor fighters and promoter. It cannot be just all the way for the fighter, all the way for promoter, because people all the time want more. Just have to be fair. And my job and my colleague managers, we're gonna get together. We want to make sure this is good for everybody, because listen, there's a lot of great people in this PFL work. What we work with, it's not like bad people. They try to screw everybody up, but also I know they spend a lot of money every year, and now they have to find a way how to make more money to keep it sustained. Right? Let's see what happens. I feel positive. I feel very positive about the future.
Okay. So, I'm sure you know more behind the scenes than we do as well, but we sit here, we're recording this interview on December 30th, and Bellator has one show announced for January 25th, headlined by Usman Nurmagomedov, who is also amazing. But beyond that, we know no dates, no fights for PFL or Bellator. Is that on your side? You may have heard more and you don't have to share, but
I think
you feel like time is getting sensitive, though. You mentioned the time, right? Do you need answers on more events, more dates, more things for your fighters as we move into the new year very quickly here?
Every year they start the season in April,
Right.
I know they're doing some tweakings, and I'm sure they're gonna talk to the media about the season. But what I heard is gonna be a season, and about the Bellator future is not my place to talk about it, but it's a decision being made, And we all know when a promotion bought different promotion, at one point they'd be like, "Hey, we all just want promotion," It doesn't make sense to be like having Bellator and PFL. I'm sure they're gonna combine it or do something. But listen, at the end of the day, like I said, we need these guys, and we're gonna work with them to make it better for everyone. And I hope we can find a solution to make everyone happy. But I'm not okay for my fighters not fighting more than once a year.
For sure. Yeah, we all hope for the best in 2025. Like you said, strong competition makes the entire industry better. So that's what we all want, from media to fighters to managers to everyone.
You know what interesting?
Yeah.
I'm very close with everyone. Like I have the UFC want other promotion around. Like if people think the UFC don't want the Bellator or PFL, they're crazy.
Yep.
Because is an ecosystem. If you take out Bellator and PFL, the ecosystem is bad. A lot of people are gonna go straight get jobs because there's not enough money for them to make. The free agency thing is gonna be done. There's no leverage anymore for fighters. Pico right now is a free agent. I'm sure the UFC want him. I'm sure PFL want to keep him. But if we don't have the PFL, how I'm gonna negotiate with the UFC or PFL?
There's nothing to negotiate against.
Nothing.
One deal and that's it.
Whatever they give you, you will take. Or you're going to go get a job at 7-Eleven.
Right. Yeah. No, we don't want that. I think that speaks for itself.
We don't want that, no.
When is Pico's 90-day period up?
I'm so bad with math. I think sometime in January.
Okay, cool.
Very soon.
That's an exciting possibility. I think people would love to see him finally in the UFC.
Listen, at the end of the day, Pico is a businessman. Pico a lot. Pico like money.
Right.
UFC, of course, he would love to become a UFC champion, but if PFL can offer me a deal I can't refuse, he's gonna take it, But if he said I want to go to the UFC, I have to go get an offer from the UFC. PFL can have a right to match it, and this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, the horses don't feed themselves, so we know he likes that money too for Aaron Pico, right?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm telling you something. Aaron Pico is one of the most talented fighter I ever seen. At his talent, there's nobody like this guy. He's different. He's different. He's amazing.
Yeah, man. No, we definitely haven't seen him active enough, so looking forward to seeing whatever happens for him. Exciting possibilities either way. All right, Ali, that's all I had.
Hey, I heard one thing. I heard Conor McGregor sitting in his house in Ireland, and I don't have his number. If anybody know his number, I want to buy his house. He's getting kicked out of Ireland. If you know somebody, just let me know.
All right, I'll pass the message along. Someone out there watching this probably is aware. All right, Ali, appreciate your time so much, man. It looks like you and the guys are having a blast every day out there in this training camp. So looking forward to hearing from Islam and Umar as we get closer to the fight, and we'll see you out there in Los Angeles for UFC 311.
Pleasure, brother. Thank you for your time.